Hi everyone! Welcome to our very first information session for MakerCore 2015. I'm Nancy Rink, I'm the program coordinator here, and I am joined by these guys.
Hi, I'm Lisa Regala. I'm the Deputy Director here at the Maker Education Initiative.
And I'm Steve Davey. I'm the Director of Education and Communications.
Great. Today we'll be talking a little bit about MakerCore 2015. We're going to talk about the history of the program. We're going to talk about past MakerCore host sites, MakerCore program specifics, program application, and the timeline.
And if you're here watching, please type in and let us know. Give us your name and the site that you're at. And at any point in time, if you have questions, type them in as well. We'll be monitoring those throughout the session, and then we'll have a specific time for Q&A at the end.
I'll also add that we'll be monitoring these comments if you're watching this archived, so that we can have your comments added to our next info session.
Next week.
So if you're watching this not live, go ahead and comment.
Yeah. All right. Let's start. Or
So you want to click on the slides?
this we go.
We're going to take a minute and just tell you a little bit, not full screen, but that's all right. Okay, about Maker Ed, who we are, and the history of MakerCore. So the Maker Education Initiative, if you're not familiar with us, we are a nonprofit that started in 2012. So we're a pretty young organization still, but we've done a lot in our few years of being a nonprofit. But we were, our mission is really to help promote creativity and confidence and lifelong learning skills for all youth. So we have a big commitment to serving underrepresented communities and those kids that might not normally have the opportunity to be exposed to amazing maker spaces like you might have at your institutions, or maker programs and camps and things of that nature. So MakerCore actually started,
There we go.
Actually started as a commitment at what's called the Clinton Global Initiative. So it's a meeting that happens annually. There's a Clinton Global Initiative America. Bill Clinton really has a mission to help bring together corporations and nonprofits and other organizations to work towards community change. And so our organization was founded, and MakerCore was our first program and kind of announced at CGI. So there's a picture of Anne Marie Thomas there, who is our first executive director, and Bill Clinton on stage there with some of our funders from Cognizant and Intel, who committed to creating this organization and helping to fund in that first year MakerCore. And the whole history and kind of the reason why MakerCore started was a commitment to help give jobs really to young people and help increase the capacity of youth-serving organizations to serve youth and families in their community through unique and innovative educational methods like making. And so that's really why we're here. We're really interested in helping to increase the capacity of your organization to do this important work in your community. And one of the ways we do that is by placing MakerCore members at your site. So we help train and prepare them and support them throughout the year so that they can not only help support you through the summer, but hopefully create some lasting influences and change in your organization throughout the year. But it's also about helping your organizations connect too. And so I think that's one of the other really powerful things about this program is that host sites, like all the museums and libraries, schools, community-based organizations, get a chance to connect, to see what's going on at one another's site. And it's really important to us that we have a diversity of sites, that we have a diversity of youth that we serve in these programs as well. And you can see a quote from one of our MakerCore members on this slide about what they were able to do with the youth in their community through this program. Anyone want to add anything about?
Yeah, since I'm making a cameo appearance here, I just want to add really quick, my excitement for this program in the third year comes a large part from what we've seen from the past 2 years. Where have MakerCore mentors gone on to? Where have host sites gone on to, and what they've offered to the community, how they've grown. This is truly extremely exciting to have a whole new cohort of folks mix in kind of some old sites with new ones. But if you take this seriously and put a lot of time and effort into the community, huge amounts come out of it. We have the evidence now, and so this is kind of exciting to know that there is a new audience out there, potential new family members in a sense. But yeah, I want to come on and just welcome you. Thank you for being interested in this, and can't wait to get to know you better. So thank you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
All right.
thanks, Steve.
See y'all.
Steve's cameo. And
Yeah.
My camera.
That's great. All right, so who participates as host sites? We've worked with about 50 host sites in the last 2 years, 34 each year. So we like to mix in host sites that have already previously been in our program along with new ones. It's a really good combination of old and new that really helps out. The host sites and supervisors support each other. So we've worked in 24 states and about 17 museums and 7 schools, 5 libraries. We've worked with a university in Arizona, and then the other 22 sites have been a mixture of science centers, maker spaces, after-school programs. It's been really fun to watch the different host sites interact with each other. I think that a school system learns a lot from working with a museum, and a library learns a lot from working with a makerspace. And so it's very cool to see. So what does being a host site mean? What does that entail? We work with host sites in the spring and summer to train the Maker Corps members to work in their sites. So in the spring we do onboarding with the host sites. We help with recruitment just to get everyone prepared for the summer programming. We have spring and summer development camps. So in the spring, we have overarching development camps online. We have topics like creativity, communication, documentation. And in summer, we're able to do more targeted topics. So we get a lot of feedback from Maker Corps members, what they're working on, what they've struggled with via our community. Last year, we have had a lot of Maker Corps members mentioning that they were having difficulty with emotional situations. And so we were able to take an hour and talk about what you do, with the different audiences. So we've got people working with teenagers, and that's, be a different emotional situation than someone working with 6-year-olds. So that's a really great thing about the summer development camps, that we have that targeted, specific to that year, because the Maker Corps members in 2014 have different problems than Maker Corps 2013.
Yeah, and as we all know, it's great to kind of go through a training and hear what's happening, but until you actually get in front of youth and kids, and put all of what you learned to the test, right? You might come up with new questions when that happens. So the spring, tends to be, we have various topics set for the spring, and we know what's coming next and things that we want to cover. But in the summer, like Nancy said, it's really a responsive thing to what's going on in each of your sites and communities, and how can we help either go over a topic again that we already covered that just needs a little more in-depth time, or some new topic areas as well.
Another component is our possibility box, which we send to Maker Corps members when they're starting their spring development camp, that they can practice projects, really get in and know the materials that they'll be working with in the summer, and develop different ideas and share those ideas with fellow Maker Corps members on the community, because we would really like to emphasize collaboration. The Maker Corps community is a really big part of Maker Corps. This is where Maker Corps members are able to talk with not just each other from across the nation. They're also able to talk with other host site supervisors and share projects and share ideas and just have a lot of fun learning about the different stuff going on the site. So we've got library people who are working in libraries getting to talk to people who are working in maker spaces. And really being able to share and develop those projects with each other. It's been really nice to see that develop.
Yeah, and the possibility box is a nice way to kind of get that going, right? It gives everyone a common place to start, some projects to start with. They don't have to go scrounge materials for. It's all right in front of them, and exposes them to new and different kind of genres of making that they might not have normally been exposed to.
There's an example of some projects that were made with the possibility box. And with the spring development camp, each week we had a project tied to the topic. So one week people explored e-textiles and posted all their different versions and commented, and people made a lot of different things, and it was really fun to see that.
It's nice to see people kind of take someone's idea, take it to the next level too, right? There's a lot of reiteration or
Like, that's cool, I want to try that, that type of thing. More projects. This is an example of some more projects, but I think these mostly, we did a circuit exploration, which was really fun. People really enjoy that because they get to get out the Play-Doh and really get back to like being 4 and playing with Play-Doh, and it's really fun. Another component is we do casual hangouts. And this is for anyone. You don't have to come to them. Maker Core members will hop on just to say hi, just to show off a cool project live. You know, it's different to be on video and share it with us, or maybe come to us with a question and say that this is something that I'm working on. Can you help me with this? And so we take about an hour to 2 hours a week or bi-weekly to have these conversations to really support the Maker Core members and their host sites.
And the funny background story of this is the very first year that we did this, Steve and I called these office hours because they were just kind of open times, right, for people to bring questions, and no one showed up. And so as soon as we changed the name and started calling them Maker Mondays and Thinkering Thursdays, then all of a sudden everyone wanted to join in and share what they were doing. So just a little lesson in kind of branding and how we realized, you know, that made a difference, right, and folks wanting to show up and share.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with these casual hangouts this past year. I really like people coming on and be like, this is what we're working on this week. Do you have any suggestions? Or one host sites, their internet went out that week, and so they had to change what they had planned on doing, and they came on like, what should we do? It was really fun. And the last thing we'll talk about are the cohorts. And so I think actually Lisa could talk about this a little bit more because she started them.
Sure. So cohorts have evolved, and it's something that's going to continue to evolve this year. The original idea behind cohorts is, I mean, yes, we have a development camp, you know, a training. We have these very informal, quote-unquote, office hours that happen. But how can we also get groups of Maker Core members to meet in smaller groups, smaller teams, and collaborate throughout the spring and the summer? And so cohorts are intended to, especially if you have Maker Core members that are going to be working at your site from different parts of the country, to give them a chance to meet online before they show up, first day at your site, right? So they can start already talking to each other, forming a bond, forming a connection, or to, you know, kind of match sites together. So maybe there's 2 rural libraries, right, that are part of this that really want to share what they're doing. And so we'll kind of try to mix and match sites that way as well. We're going to really put some more emphasis on this for 2015 and kind of engineering the right combination of cohorts. And we really, you know, would appreciate host sites as well taking part of this. I think this is a great way for sites to learn from other sites and for, you know, to really kind of make these around certain topic areas or themes as well. But it's just another chance to really encourage collaboration and networking. And we really believe that this program is not just about us feeding you information, right? You all have a wealth of information of what you've been doing and the things that you're trying, and how can we just help connect everyone to collaborate and share the great ideas that you have. And we feel like that's a major role that Maker Ed plays.
So what else is new for Maker Core 2015? We're going to introduce accountability. We're really going to track the Maker Core members' progress as they go through both the Spring Development Camp and the Summer Development Camp. And so we're playing around with different possibilities of emphasizing the cohorts, maybe having a group project, some sort of thing that will be really good, some documentation practices, blog posts, you know, minimum posts on our community, and everything to get people to participate will be really good. Second thing is going to be asynchronous development camps. And so we recognize that it's been really hard for a lot of our Maker Core members have been college students or in college, and when our spring development camps happen, a lot of times they're at finals, and so you know, people weren't able to make them. And so we want to remove that and let people watch them anytime they can before they start at their placement. We also want to do an end-of-year recognition. We're also playing around with ideas. I think it'd be really nice to do some sort of certificate or award ceremony. It would be really nice. And the last thing, or not the last thing, but another thing, a big thing, is the host site supervisor training. So we are going to do a mandatory 3-session host site supervisor training that will really help you guys prepare for your Maker Core members coming in, some or they might be already there, but really helping out the Maker Core members and supporting them.
You all have the benefit of what we've learned from the past 2 years.
Yes.
And so we want to make sure that we're preparing all of you early from, taking into consideration everything that we've learned. So in order to offer you all of these amazing services, the program does have a modest program fee, and it is based on the annual budget of your organization. And so you can see the chart here that if your annual budget of your organization is under $500,000, the program fee is $500. And that's for us to offer everything that Nancy said, right? This recognition, the support, the professional development, and the connections that we make between host sites. In addition is the fee for the possibility box. And so the possibility boxes go to each of your Maker Core members, so that fee is dependent on how many Maker Core members that you have at your site. We're still finalizing the contents of the box right now, but we anticipate that fee to be about $200 per possibility box. So if you're thinking about budgeting, coming up, that's about what you can expect.
Yeah. And finally, how to apply. So we will be launching our online application packet January 5th. So that's about 3 weeks from now. And then applications will be due at the end of January, and then we will make announcements in mid-February, and then just get everything started. And there's the rest of it. So that's our program timeline. So we will release a spring timeline with more details in March, but generally, and in the past, supervisor training and everything onboarding has gone through April and May, and most people's summer programs are June through August, and then we do a summer or a September wrap of the program.
And one of the things I forgot to mention, actually, when I was talking about program fees, too, is we are, fingers crossed, hopefully also when we announce our application launching in January, we'll also, as part of that application, have an option for you to apply for a mini grant to cover the cost of the possibility box and membership fee. So I forgot to say that on that slide, but that is very important. We don't have the final details on that yet, but we will by January 5th, and I'm fairly confident that we will have mini grants to offer, and so that will also be part of the application process. If you're, if you have financial hardship but you still want to be part of the program, you'll be able to apply for one of those mini grants.
I was going to go to back to the first timeline with our application timeline.
Sure.
Yeah. So if anyone has any questions, please ask them in our YouTube comments. We will start we'll start answering them now. There is a bit of a lag, so if you type in a question, it might take about 30 seconds to a minute for it to pop up, but this is our open time to answer your questions. And if you have any questions out there and you missed this, feel free to post it in the YouTube comment page as well. We have another information session next week at the same time. And also feel free to email me, Nancy@makered.org, with any questions. So let me go to YouTube.
In the meantime, I'll fill in other details. Usually commonly asked questions. How about that?
Yeah, commonly asked questions.
So one of the things that is going to be slightly different, I think, for this year, too. We had a little bit of this happen last year, but I think we're going to be more concerted about this year, is people ask, do they have to hire someone new outside of their organization to be a Maker Core member, or can it be someone that was already part of the organization that's going to be running their summer programs? So the answer is it can be someone that is already part of your organization, unless you're applying for a mini grant. So the mini grant would have to be that you are hiring new for the summer. So many times that's college students or teachers are a really great audience for that. We've had a great group of teachers want to participate in Maker Core and take what they've learned back to their classroom during the school year. And so that's a really nice partnership as well.
Yeah, and librarians.
And librarians, yes, absolutely.
I have a question.
Yes.
If I am a host site, can I apply with another institution from my same location or city?
That's a great question. Do you want to answer your own question?
I asked you.
So we actually are interested. This is also something new, I think, for 2015. So in the past, we've had sites that were really interested in applying together. So they might be a really small site and work really closely with another organization in their community and kind of want to have one Maker Core member at each site that they work together. And yes, that is possible. We're actually going to have a special part of the application this year that if you want to apply individually as a site, that's great. But if you want to apply as a cohort, multiple sites that are going to work together during the summer, that's fine too.
Exciting.
It is exciting.
See, checking YouTube. Any questions? We got a comment. Hi, Kathleen from Museum Discovery in Little Rock, Arkansas. Hi, Kathleen. Hi. Thanks for joining us. Let's see.
And I think the real, value of this program over the past, several years has been this collaboration, this networking, getting to meet other institutions, being part of this actually kind of puts you on our radar too as Maker Ed, and we get asked a lot to, recommend sites for different things, or recommend speakers for things, or recommend model sites out there. And so I know a lot of host sites have also just kind of benefited from the fact that, by having your Maker Core members post on Maker Ed's blog and, us tweeting about your site and things like that really helps elevate the status of your site and the Maker movement as well. And that's what we feel like part of our role is too. We really want to help you grow. We want to draw attention to the wonderful work that you're doing so that you have a better chance of raising funds locally, right, to help support your great work.
Yeah. Okay, I have one question from YouTube. Charles Wilson, architecture student. I am interested in what space requirements are needed. What have you seen with last year?
Mm-hmm.
So we work with a lot of different sites. We have small ones, one room community-based programs. We've got large museums, schools. We work with a diverse amount of spaces. So I guess what we need is summer programming.
Yeah, it's less, we realize space is really important, but your space can be a mobile space. It can be
a bus. We have a mobile bus.
We have a mobile bus. So, the space is what you make it. It's really about the experience that you're giving the youth, the types of tools and materials that you're providing them. And if that's in a mobile setting and you're taking something to different libraries across your community, that's great. And your space is technically your trunk of your car, right?
Yeah.
That's totally fine. If you have a really great elaborate makerspace at your site, that's fine too. We really work with, like Nancy said, diverse, different types of organizations. It's really about describing the type of experience and the youth that you're going to be serving.
All right, I've got two more questions. This one is from Candace Williams. If you're applying as a single library from a larger system, would your fee be based on your individual library's budget?
I do believe it's your individual libraries, but
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good question. Yeah. You stumped us, but I believe it would be your individual library's budget.
Yeah. Okay, second question. From Josh Denson. I'm interested in learning what Maker Core members typically do at school sites when school is not in session during those months. From what we've seen, the schools have just used Maker Core to revamp their summer programs.
Yes, it's for schools that participated have had some sort of summer programming that they offer, or they're have some after-school program that continues throughout the summer or whatever, or had even year-round schooling or something that was happening throughout the year. So if they've had something going on still at their school that summer and then have incorporated Maker Core into that.
These are great questions. All right, let's give some more time. If you guys are watching out there, feel free to ask questions on YouTube. There's a bit of a lag, so just give us a minute or so before we can answer it.
Think of any other frequently asked questions.
Frequently asked questions.
The staff at your institution are all welcome to participate in the development camp as well, and the community as well. So it's not something that is just only for Maker Core members. So some folks have asked that, can other staff in their department take part in the training, and the answer is absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. Yes, we had a library that a lot of their staff came and watched it and participated and posted, and that was really fun to see the whole staff of an organization really get involved and have fun with it. Could you start as an individual or as an organization required?
You need to be part of an organization.
But if you're interested, you could apply to be a Maker Corps member. Or, you can also tell institutions in your area about Maker Corps. There's a lot of ways to get involved.
And if you're an individual and you just want to have a small club, Young Makers is another program that we have here at Maker Ed, and we have a playbook on our website about how you can start a Young Makers Club in your community. So if you're an individual that just kind of wanted to get a small group of kids together for the summer, I would encourage you to check out the Young Makers program.
Yeah.
And Young Makers, I'll just say a little bit more about it since we're waiting for another question. But it's really a club-based model program, and the idea is that small groups of kids get together and meet and work on a project that they're going to display at some sort of event. So that could be your local maker fair, it could be your local county fair, it could be a school fair, whatever it might be. But the idea is that it's really about showcasing the work of a project that they've worked on for several months at a time. So they're really building different skills and getting to work on something that they have a lot of ownership that was self-directed by the youth.
No questions, no more questions, but we do have a comment that says we rock. Thank you, Dale.
Thank you. Well, please feel free to keep, typing in questions. We'll monitor them. It's great to hear the questions that come up now because we're doing another information session, and that helps us to gauge which other things we should emphasize too in the next session.
Yeah.
And always feel free to reach out and contact us. Contact Nancy. Nancy at makered.org, and we'd be happy to answer any of the questions that you have. We're really excited about the program this year. We're excited to kind of make some of these changes too. We really believe we do an evaluation of the program every year, and a lot of it is formative along the way, as well as summative and doing some surveys and case studies and things like that. But we really try to be responsive to the community throughout the year, and so a lot of times when people want to know like exactly what we're doing in the summer, we can't say exactly what we're doing this summer because we're really responsive to the community. Like Nancy said, we definitely have things in mind that we would like to cover throughout that summertime, but it's about serving all of you and supporting all of you and the needs that you have. And so we really like to listen to that and respond to those each week and gather the right folks together who can come on board and help be part of a panel to help facilitate questions and answers on those topics. And so I think that's one of the other benefits of this is that it is a program that morphs and changes throughout the year because we really shape it based on the sites that come on board every year and the needs that you have.
I've got 2 more questions. How often do Maker Corps events happen in the summer? Daily, weekly? Is that up to the site supervisor? Also, where do trainings occur? So for Maker Corps events, our Maker Corps events, we have, I think, what did we do for last summer? I think we had a hangout every 2 weeks for Maker Corps specific. And what else? In the spring development, we had it once a week for 6 weeks, April through the end of May. And these are on Google Hangouts, so what we're doing right now.
And I don't know if you meant what we offer or what events that you would have at your site. So I'm not sure if the question was like how typical host sites operate during the summer. So if that was your question, I can help answer that one too. So sites are really unique. Some of them have, summer camps that might be 2 rounds of summer camps that are, 3 weeks each, right, throughout the summer. Or some people have, they're part of a museum, so they have a drop-in program, and things are happening on a daily basis, but it's for an hour or so every day. So that kind of span of programming is really up to you. We don't dictate that exactly, but we do ask that the Maker Corps members be part of the development of what happens during the summer. So the idea is that those Maker Corps members are coming with new ideas and new excitement and new enthusiasm based on the training, and that you're leaving space in your schedule for them to experiment, to try things out. So in some ways, you don't have everything all figured out yet, right? You have the plan of what you want to do. Obviously, if you've got to advertise a summer camp or things like that, we totally understand that. But there should be a time set aside for the Maker Corps members to kind of act as a maker in residence at your site to help, help shape and change your programming for that summer, but also maybe for the future. Maybe they're helping to, prototype a new little mini exhibit for you, or a new activity that you might have on the floor or have in your classroom, or whatever it is. And so that time is really flexible. We do tend to, we ask in the application about kind of the length of time that you have with youth. We do believe that just if it's all kind of, really, really short interactions, that's not as powerful as having some longer term experiences, even if it's a drop-in program, but that kids can keep coming back time after time and work on a larger project is definitely our preference. We know that's not always possible, and you might have a mix of those types of things in your space, and that's fine. But some longer term engagement, we look for as part of what you offer during the summer.
Another question. Can Maker Corps members working at school sites work with the school to revamp the school's approach to maker education, or do they have to be working directly with students and children? Well, I would hope both. I hope working with the students and children would help revamp the school's approach to maker education.
Yeah, we do require both as part of the program. So there has to be a portion of their time that is devoted to direct service with kids during the summer. But there can be a portion, it could be 50-50, right?
Yeah.
That half the time is also developing. But as Nancy said, I think that time with kids is actually really important to development. So if you're working on something, you're going to want to have moments that you're testing it out too. But the direct service piece is actually required as part of the program. There has to be a portion of their time that is devoted to working directly with youth.
Another question. What grade level have you seen gets the most out of the Maker Corps program? What age group have you seen an impact in how they learn? Take this one.
I don't know if there's a specific grade level that we've seen the most impact. We've had a really large variety of types of institutions, children's museums, so really young kids that are participating, all the way up through high school, and so I think the Maker Corps members themselves, in some ways,
not just the audience.
The college students that participate as well. So
and the supervisors.
And the supervisors, and I can't say that there's one particular age group that benefits the most. And this is a good time to be clear about this too. We don't dictate the projects that you do during the summer, and because we have such a big age range of folks that are participating too, and of the kids that are participating, we know that not every project works for every age. So our development camp is more about our philosophy, our educational philosophy around making and thinking about the types of tools and how do you design a project, and to start inspiring the Maker Corps members to think of electronics as an option, to think of sewing as an option,
and how they can adapt those from based off their audience.
Yes, and we actually talk a lot about how you might adapt something if you're working at a children's museum versus if you're working with high school students. And so, we're not kind of dictating what you do. That is up to you. We're here to help inspire, guide, and give you kind of the general educational philosophy around what we've seen to be successful making experiences with youth. That's a really great question, but I think it works for all ages, and intergenerational kinds of opportunities are really lovely and generally really successful as part of the program too.
Yeah, and we've even seen the impact of family members.
Mm-hmm.
We had a host site. I know specifically this story where there was a young girl. I think she was 5th grade, and she brought her electric circuit projects home, and her dad was like, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" And they all worked together as a family, and that was just really, really great to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm going to check YouTube for more comments, questions.
These are great questions.
Yeah. We'll give it a minute, see if anything else pops up. Good question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the programming, like the exact programming, like we said, is up to you. We like in the application to kind of see what your general plan is for the summer. And the selection of the Maker Corps members is up to you too. So we as Maker Ed, we push it out on all of our channels. We get the word out. We'll advertise. We'll send people to your site and the description of your program and what you're going to be doing. But the Maker Corps members are your employees. They are not employees of Maker Ed. They're your employees for the summer, and so we're happy to help or advise in any way that you need. We give you lots of tools. We give you flyers. We give you, where you can cut and paste and put your logo.
All sorts of,
Yeah, so we'll give you a lot of resources, but you do have to do some own work in your community. A lot of Maker Corps members come from your local community too, to kind of get it out to local colleges, to local teacher organizations, things like that, librarians, have them come to you. And then you are, at your site, it's responsible just for your normal hiring processes that you would use to hire them if you're hiring outside folks for the summer.
Yeah. I just remembered something that I forgot to mention. We have a host site interest form on our website. So if you want to get directly emailed when this application is launched, please sign up. It is under our Maker Corps page. I can post it on YouTube as well. But it's under our Maker Corps page on our website. And sign up. We've got a lot of interest. It's so exciting to read about all the different places and all the people who've signed up. And I'll send out an email on January 5th.
Great.
More questions? So it looks like we've stalled out on questions right now. If you guys are watching this and it's not live anymore, feel free to still post your question on YouTube. We will answer it in the next information session, which is next Thursday at the same time, 1 p.m. Pacific. And I will be joined by Stephanie Chang, as Lisa will be out of town. And also feel free to email me at nancy@makered.org.
Great. Well, thank you, everyone. We really look forward to receiving your applications in January, and that's always an exciting time for us to review those and get to select and work with our awesome new set of folks out there that are doing amazing things. It's really great for us to kind of have this greater awareness, too, of what's going on out there in the country around making.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye.